Adoption of Enterprise 2.0 does not come easy. This is one of the clear differentiations, I think, between it and its counterpart in the commercial world, Web 2.0. We're always hearing about viral adoption. It's not so viral inside. Resistance occurs in many different levels. Now, you've been here probably for at least 1 day, some of you 2, 3 days. And I'm wondering, as you were listening to the case studies, how much you've picked up on this. So we're going to run a quick little survey with you. We want to bring this up. Resistance was real. They all reported different types of resistance. How many of you would say that their strongest force of resistance came from management? Raise your hand. Senior business management. Okay. How many of you would say it was the IT department who pushed back on them? Interesting. And how many of you would say it was the user community who pushed back on them? Well, it looks like in this crowd today, IT's the big winner. So let's find out if you folks know what you're talking about. Dan, let's go live to the thoroughbred stables of Enterprise 2.0 and ask them. No, no. It actually turned out somewhat surprising, even to Dan and I, and we've been involved in this industry for many, many years, that while the resistance existed on many different levels, the strongest form of resistance came from users. But that wasn't the biggest surprise. So Dan, why don't you explain what I'm talking about?
So this was a short survey that we did, but very powerful. We wanted to get to the core of the messages that we're trying to uncover for what does real success mean and where do people run into resistance. And keep in mind that all the people that are on the council, this is their job, and it's a serious job that they have. So when you voted, of the responses that we got, 49% of people that took the survey, of the 77, thoroughbred E2O players, experienced an issue with IT. Now that could be the IT department itself or technology. This is a sort of high-level view. Versus management, you can see 64% experienced it. So that's curious, and actually, the way that that's shaped out with this audience is curious how it flipped around a little bit. And lastly, I don't know about you, but that number sort of surprises me. I think a lot of us in this room are very early adopters, and I tell people I don't know why this happened. I have 6 iPods and iPhones in my house. I don't know how that happened. And nobody gave them to me. Actually, one was a gift, but the rest of them I bought on purpose. I don't know how that happens. So not everybody's like all of us. It has been fun for me. Been to every one of the E2O conferences, and before it was even rebranded from Collaborative Technologies Conference to E2O, that the energy has been growing, the maturity has been growing all along since the beginning of the coining of this term, and that's been a very healthy thing. So slightly concerning that so many people experience these problems, but could they overcome them? And IT resistance was not so bad. They could actually overcome it with a slight variation. So that's great news. The technology itself has gotten pretty sophisticated, and one of the reasons that my fellow analysts used to laugh at me when I was talking about wikis in 2002, because the usability of the early wikis was not fun even for me, and I'm a geek. So that has changed, and thank God for that. As far as management, how many have overcome that? So 64% experienced, 40% overcame it. So there's a widening gap here, if you notice. And lastly, we've heard so much that users are where we aim to get our energy. We're trying to serve them. That's a massive gap there. 72% versus 32%. Wow, that's a 40% delta. And so what does that mean? What does that? Should we all just give up and go home? No. All the people that took the survey, that have participated in this research, they do it because they believe in it, and they are getting success out of this. So this shouldn't be causing us to feel negative about this. It's just, let's face the reality that it is work to make this happen. And just like it has been with any enterprise system, it doesn't just, you drop it in and magically everything happens. So we need to do serious work. And I think it's worth keeping in mind, taking a look at this data. Where do you sit in your own organization, and what resistance have you run into as well?